Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about how I hit Diamond 2 in League of Legends as an adult with dyspraxia. So this video is mainly targeted towards people who have dyspraxia, but the tips I'm going to give might still apply to you. So I'd recommend just watching regardless. Just it's always good to have a new point of view and learn new things. So just to start off, I'm going to describe what dyspraxia is for those who may not know and what it means for me and how it affects me. So, developmental coordination disorder, also known as dyspraxia, or DCD for short, is a condition that makes it harder for the brain to plan and coordinate movements in everyday tasks. So, for example, this can mean learning new tasks are very difficult. You get fatigued very easily when doing mental or physical work. You can be more clumsy. For example, for me, walking in a straight line and keeping my balance is quite difficult. My organization is can be weak. For example, getting dressed or packing bags can be fatiguing. So this might be in terms of like League of Legends, like macro. That can be a bit difficult, like kind of organizing what to do, when to do. Um, Judging space and time can be harder. So again, I guess that ties in with organization, like timing. When shall I rotate the Baron? When shall I rotate with my team? When shall I split push? Um, Fine motor control and hand-eye coordination is difficult. So this is a big one for gaming and for dyspraxia in general. For an in real life example, a notorious example can be messy handwriting due to difficulty using fine motor movements with your fingers. It's a bit difficult to do that. So for gaming, this can be mouse, keyboard, controller. You might find it a bit difficult. Me personally, sometimes I get lost where my character or the middle of my screen, the crosshairs is on the screen, and it's a bit hard to kind of sync it together with the mouse and hand movement and pressing the keys at the same time can be a bit difficult. Sometimes I might get lost on the keyboard. The reaction time is also weaker as well. So, for me, if I see something on the screen, like if I see a projectile flying towards me on the screen, I'll register it in my brain, in my head, but like my fingers, it will take like maybe like half second or an X second extra to like process, like press the button, um, yeah, consistency as well, reminding yourself to do the same thing, just remind yourself to play well. That can be a bit hard. Okay, so now that you know what dyspraxia is, I'm going to tell you how I got to Diamond 2. So I hit Diamond this season at approximately the 200 game mark, and out of all the 544 games I played total, 434 of those were played only on one character, as you can see, Yasuo, and the other 110 games I just kind of picked whatever I felt like whatever I felt like playing at the time or what fitted the comp better. So the reason why I play just one champion exclusively, as you can see, I have nearly 4 million points on Yasuo and like barely even 300k on any other character. So you want to get as good as possible on one character, okay? It's easy to learn one character and then learn the 200 or so matchups for one character rather than say if you have a pool of five, it's much harder than to learn a pool of five characters and then learning having to learn about 1,000 matchups. 200 or so for each of those five. That's much harder. Even if someone picks something like Darius against me, or Renekton or Nyla or something, if they just search something, how to counter Yasuo on Google, I might actually win the lane or have a better advantage because I've played this matchup like countless times, even though it's I have a disadvantage due to the matchup diff, champ diff. I might still I'll have like the more experience and I'll know, how to outplay them, whilst they might not really know what they're doing. So number one, learn one champ. That's what I really recommend. Um, Another thing, don't use stimulants or any drugs or anything, like for example, coffee, energy drinks. When you use these substances, you're stealing energy from your future self, like you're literally in debt to yourself. because you're taking all the energy. You know, what I notice is, say if I have like an energy drink one day, and then the next day I'm like completely fatigued, and then you have to take maybe 1.5 energy drinks, something like that, you know. So just first of all, just completely avoid that. You want your baseline skill level to be high. So avoid stimulants and avoid playing when tired or overstimulated. So for example, maybe disable the background sounds that you don't need in the game. That could be like the background music, um, sound effects, you know, the unnecessarily sound. Or just don't play with music. It doesn't matter if it's lo-fi music, stimulating music, relaxing, whatever it may be, just don't play because it's going to be hard for you to focus on multiple things at the same time. It's just too overstimulating, you're going to get fatigued easier. Um, Again, for League, it's difficult to focus for a long period of time for me, especially when you have to constantly remind yourself what you're supposed to be doing on the map, also known as macro. You know, you might struggle. Um, you just have to like constantly remind yourself just a few things in your head. Like, okay, don't let that enemy kill you for free. Don't give them an advantage for free. Just chill. Try to play near your team so there's less chance of being caught. Make sure to group when an objective is coming up. Look where to find opportunities to take a 1v1 or a tower or get a pick. You know, just think of a few of those things. For me, the most important thing is like don't let the enemy kill you for free, especially early game. Just relax. Don't have like aggressive syndrome. You know, people might call it Yasuo syndrome, Lee Sin syndrome, Katarina syndrome. You know, all of that kind of things. You know, champs that want to play aggressive and they constantly play aggressive and aggressive and aggressive and they just give so much gold to the enemy team for free. Don't do that. Just constantly remind yourself. Just chill. Don't let the enemy kill you for free. Of course, you can be aggressive, um, but controlled aggression. You know, just remind yourself of these core things. Another important thing is consciously breathe in and out through your nose. Relax your breathing. If you find yourself open mouth breathing, just consciously tell yourself, okay, look, in and out through the nose, slowly, consciously, with purpose. You're going to play much better. Don't forget to don't be afraid to experiment with new runes or new builds, even if you kind of already know that it might not be good, or if people are saying it's bad or whatever, you really need to try it for yourself personally to understand. So, for example, this is like, I think this is the first time I tried Fiend Hunter Bolts and Yasuo. I just tried it because I just wanted to see how it is, and I learned, you know, only through experience that, okay, you know, you stack your Q fast, for example, but you have less damage because, you know, Zeal upgrade items don't have damage. Same thing here. You know, as you can see, usually I build Yuntal into IE as my core. Here I went Phantom Dancer into IE. As you can see, I really didn't have damage. You know, I kind of knew that before. I kind of knew already, you know, I'm not going to have enough damage. Um, but I just wanted to try it anyway, just to remind yourself, you know, you have to constantly keep up with the knowledge. Another example is here, I tried Hail of Blades despite using lethal tempo like most of my games. I just wanted to try it, see if it was good. It was good in the lane, fell off hard after like 20 minutes. So, you know, you have to constantly remind yourself to keep up. Yeah, and really, there's not really on any other tips and tricks apart from those. Um, you know, just play when you're fully mentally alert. So maybe that can mean even like one game a day on the weekend, if you really want to maximize. Um, you know, say if you come back from work or school, you're going to be exhausted, right? You're not going to play as good as you can. So try and play maybe on the weekend. Don't drink any caffeine. And yeah, you literally have to just like keep on inting games. Like seriously, you have to int hundreds of thousands of games before you can get to a certain level where you know what works and what doesn't. You know, I entered thousands of games. As you can see here, I started season 7, Silver 5. It took me a while just to get to Emerald. Um, all of these games just inting, knowing your limits, limit testing, all of that stuff, man. You have to keep on just pushing the limit. And then when you get to a point where you're comfortable, like for me right now, I don't personally think I want to get the Masters. You know, I think D2 is a comfortable rank for me. Um, in terms of like even like stress, you don't want the game to be stressful. or extremely like over try harding, because then that's not fun for me personally. Um, I think this is like a decent rank for me. I'm playing with people who were previously ranked diamond. I'm playing with people who are smurfing from master or grandmaster. So I'm not playing versus like people who don't really know what they're doing. So I'm still gonna learn. So personally, I don't mind that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments. And if you have dyspraxia yourself, let me know your experience with dyspraxia and competitive gaming in any game, not just League of Legends. That'll be quite interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys.